Thank you, everyone. Last year, it was such an honor to be recognized at this event for how the Sacramento River Cats support our community. So you can imagine how proud I am to be giving the Spirit of Tiffany Award this year to one of my closest friends, Jeanne Reaves. If you know Jeanne at all, you know how deserving she is. There are few people who are as active in the nonprofit world as Jeanne. From her extensive career in banking to the culture of her consulting business today, her accomplishments have been widely recognized and honored. She has been so incredibly involved across all the nonprofits that the Association of Fundraising Professionals named her Outstanding Volunteer Fundraiser, and she also received the Community Involvement Leadership Award. These are just a couple of the over 30 awards Jeanne has received. Seriously, folks, she has gotten over 30 awards. Yeah. Named one of Sacramento Magazine's 50 Most Powerful People and honored by the Sacramento Metropolitan Chamber as Sacramentan of the Year for 2009, Jeanne has drawn upon her vast business talents to help many nonprofit organizations succeed. And if you never have experienced a charity auction with Jeanne, you are in for an experience. It's almost impossible to outbid her. And when she lands the prize, whether it be a trip or a dinner, she tells everybody that she won it. We tease her about that because she's always winning. We let her think she's the winner. But the real winners, Jeanne, are your friends and Sacramento, who benefits from your gifts and wise counsel. Jeanne's involvement with the American Red Cross has taken many forms, and she has one of the most remarkable Red Cross stories I've ever heard. So please join me in welcoming Jeanne, the 2017 Spirit of Tiffany recipient.
Thank you, Susan, and she is a very dear friend. First, I want to say thank you very much for coming. I had this vision that there would be two people in the room. But first, before I begin, I want to just pour my heart out to the veterans in the room. We would not be here today if it were not for them. And I want to give a special thanks to my family that's here this evening. My son and daughter-in-law, who are veterans. They were in the Air Force. And my second son and his wife, Michael and Julie. And my sister, who travels extensively, who is here in town with her husband, Bob, Cricket and Bob. So thank you so much for being here tonight. I do have a very special place in my heart for the American Red Cross. When my son was in the military, and I'm going to ask my son to come forward. He's retired Air Force. I want to tell a story, but I want him to share his side of this story. My daughter became very ill, and I didn't know at the time that my son would be able to come home. And the doctor said to me, but if we call on the American Red Cross, they will locate your son and bring him home. I said, really? And they said, yes. So I said, well, let's do it. So they did. They called the American Red Cross and they brought my son home. She got better, and he, of course, went back. A second time came, and my daughter was very ill. And they said, we're going to call the American Red Cross again. And they did, and they brought him home. She got better, and then he went back. When the third time came, I was very concerned for fear that they wouldn't bring him home, because after all, we'd already brought him home twice. But he was in England, and I couldn't remember the name of the base. I was upset. She was very, very ill. And the military said, the Red Cross said, well, we're going to do what we can. I got word back that it was going to be pretty difficult to get him back here because of the fact that he was in transition from one base to another and they didn't know how to locate him. You can only imagine how I felt. I felt helpless, didn't know what to do, was beside myself, and I got a call saying that the American Red Cross was doing everything physically possible to make sure that he got back here in time. Within 24 hours had not gone by when I get a call from my son, and I said, where are you? He said, Mom, I'm in San Francisco, come get me. I cannot tell you what the American Red Cross and the Air Force means to me. And I would like for my son to tell you the other side of the story.
So on that third time, what happened was I was in billeting and I was actually out processed the base, but still part of the base. Like my mom said, it's a transition when you're getting ready to go to somewhere else. They reached me at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was at the wing commander's house at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was on a plane at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was stationed at RAF Alconbury at the time, which was probably about 2 hours away from London, which of course is where I flew out of. And they still were able to get me there at 6 in the morning and came home. So it was before cell phones, so obviously there was no way for me to get a hold of her until I got to San Francisco. And I just wanted to quickly thank the American Red Cross, not just for what they did there, but I spent 20 years in the military and then another 10 as a DOD firefighter as well. And they've reached out and helped people when I was stationed at Qatar, when I was stationed at Masira Island, when I was at Saudi Arabia. So I've seen it, and I always tell my troops when they have difficulties back home, family members who may be passing, etc., have those doctors get a hold of Red Cross. And that's what always speeds things along. So thank you very, very much.
So I am humbled, and I'm honored, and I'm thankful to the American Red Cross and the military, because again, the work that they do is something that we cannot even begin to express our gratitude. So thank you so very much for this honor. I can't tell you what it means to me. Thank you.